Hello, welcome to Scratch 3D Printing. In this video, I made a 2-to-1 connector for the K1 Max. Let's scratch today's problem. If you've been following the channel and or Creality on the K1 series or the CFS, you will know that Creality made the K1 series compatible with the CFS, and they made an upgrade kit for the K1 Max. I have made a video on that, upgrading the K1 Max to be compatible with multicolor 3D printing, the CFS. I'll leave it up here. But today, I 3D modeled and printed this 2-to-1 connector for the K1 Max. The reason for this is that many people are saying that, okay, now that the K1 Max is compatible with the CFS, how do we print with the external spool, right? Here, the CFS, the filament will go in here, go through the CFS. It will come out here and you will have a tube connect here, but I disconnect this. The tube will then run to this buffering right here. Here's the tube. It's going to go through this buffering. And then it's gonna come out the other side over here. So once it comes out over here, it's gonna go straight into the 3D printer. And this is a lid riser. I'll leave a link down below for this too. And by doing that, you only have one connection over here for the K1 Max or for any K1 series. And that's only one way of connecting the CFS to the printhead, because the CFS is not compatible with TPU, flexible filament. So using an external spool will be the problem solver for that. But how would you do that? Well, you have to disconnect that and then connect it to the spool, and that takes a lot of time. And people don't want to do that. I certainly don't want to disconnect the tube, reconnect, disconnect, reconnect all the time. So I designed this thing to solve that problem, and I will show you the design behind this thing. At first, I designed this with heat inserted in mind. Design with this, and then the heat insert in there. And then I will use this and screw it into the heat insert. But I feel like that's gonna do way too much work, and many people don't have heat insert and or like a soldering tools. People might not have that and they don't want to do that. So I decided to make the thread inside the 3D printed part, and I'll leave a link down below for these type of connectors. It comes in a bag with 10, I believe, so you'll have a couple to spare. This is the whole package that I bought. It also comes with these, but I don't really need this, so I don't know. I couldn't really find any that is on the cheaper side and still be good, useful. So I got this whole package. It comes with lots of bolt and tube too, so I guess I'll be set for a while. I also noticed that these sets are not completely circle in here. People complain that it's not completely circle. It's kind of like a hexagon shape inside of that, but I guess it's fine. Since it's big enough for the filament to go back and forth, I think it's fine. And I've been using this and it seems to be working fine. So all you need is a 3D printed part of this. 3 fitting of this type. So this is M6, and then you just screw it right in. And it's very tight. You try pull it apart, you can't really pull it apart since it's M6, has enough clearance, big enough for a 3D print. So that is perfect. You need one there, one over here. Just make it tight enough, and you will need another one for back here. But before you screw this in, you need to 3D print a nut right here so that it will have the lock mechanism. And I made this compatible with the lid raiser behind there. I took the model and take this piece, corner piece, and modify it with the hole right here. In order for this to work, you need to put this through the hole right here on the outside. Put in the lock nut. It goes in very smoothly. Screw it in. And then for the final fitting, I suggest holding the nut and just twisting this to your liking. So maybe add like a 45-degree angle there and hold the nuts. And make sure that this thing is straight like that. Look at that. And now that we have this thing fully secure like this, we can go ahead and put the fitting in here. And just like that, we have a complete. I'm going to be putting this onto the K1 Max and show you guys exactly how this works. But before that, I will show you that it does work. You put it in here, you just keep threading through it, and then it will come out the other side. Let's do it for the other one. Sometimes it does not want to go, but there we go. It goes through very nicely, very smoothly. It has big enough clearance inside. So now let's go and I'll show it to you on how to install it. First, you gotta remove this thing. Now that we got that removed, let's remove the lid. And now we can disconnect the tube from back here. This is my setup, so yours might be a little bit different. You might not have this set up yet, so just 3D print and then just use that and it will work. I have some double-sided tape in there so that it does not budge. So all we need to do, if you got this set up already, just remove one of this piece right here. So for mine, I use some double-sided tape here to make it super secure. So right there is my double-sided tape. It's gonna go in like this. So these just connect with those type of connections. So just connect like that. Connect it on the other side. And then just lay it flat. Press it down. There we go. We got it installed. It's not called a match because I ran out of red, so I just did blue. You may or may not need to shorten your tube. So in this case, I really need to shorten my tube like right about there. So that would be the perfect tube. But in this case, you also need 2 extra tube. You need one to connect to the buffering over here. So I will cut one of those and then we'll connect over here. And then you also need one for this, for your external spool. For this project here, I'm gonna remove this and use the blue one that comes with the kit that I bought. Just because I want everything to be fresh, brand new. Let's see how long this blue one is. So I'll connect it to this over here. Then need to stretch it out, thread it through these holes right here. Okay, there we go. Looks pretty cool with the blue one. Now I'm gonna move my printhead to the furthest spot and make sure that this is not like a sharp 90-degree turn. Have some clearance like this curve here so that the filament will come smoothly. Make sure that I have that, and I will measure this something like this. So I'll need to cut that much off. I bought a specific cutter for the tube, but I feel like that does not work well, so I'm just gonna use a flat plier here. It's not perfect, but I think it will definitely work. I'm gonna reconnect this. There we go. We have finished one of the tube in here. So this will be able to go anywhere inside of the 3D printer and have a pretty nice loop for the filament. Now we need to connect that one, the one to the buffering. I'll just use the same tube. You guys may not see this back part here, but it's just connecting to a coupler or fitter back here. And wow, that's actually perfect. I feel like that's actually perfect for this. Maybe a little bit too long, but I feel like having this angle curve right here, it will definitely help the filament flow a little bit better. Maybe I can shorten a little bit, but I feel like this is fine for now. This one, you don't really need a really long tube. You just need like a short tube, like maybe just that long of a tube. You just need to connect the filament to the tube so that it doesn't have a 90-degree angle curve right here. Cut about right there. Just need that part. Now, connect it to that coupler, fitter right there, and just something like that. And now we are completely finished installing this 2-to-1 connector. So this is for your external spool. This is for your CFS. External spool, feed it through, it went through. Yeah, it went through that one too. So I can keep feeding it. It's very smooth, man. And now if you need to change it, you just pull right here and then just use the CFS. This is amazing. And with this setup, you are still able to have the lid on top over here. You have vents for extracting heat or whatever if you want to open them or not. And we can have the CFS on top, just like this. Everything works perfectly. There you go. The CFS on top of the K1 Max with the lid riser right there. 2-in-1 connector for the external spool, for the CFS. Everything works out just to be perfect. Creality suggests that you put the CFS on the side and just have the tube go into the 3D printer. But some people don't have that space around their room like mine. Leaving the CFS on top of the 3D printer is like the best way to do it. And we have figured out a way to do it. Many people have figured out a way to do it a different way than me. But as of right now, this is my setup for the K1 Max. And I believe I'm going to be loving this setup because I don't have to remove everything, plug in everything, just keep doing that thing over and over again. With this setup, it's going to be so much more easier to do, to change filament, and to work on the 3D printer. That'll be it for this video. Leave a comment down below. What is your setup for your K1 series with the CFS? And if you have the external spool with it, leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel. And also, if you haven't yet become a member of the channel, you will get exclusive perks, you will get exclusive stuff. And as always, keep on 3D printing. Before I get the model to be connected perfectly like that, look at all the wasted model, all the failed model. So this is not easy. It's actually quite hard to make. At first I thought it was so easy, but then I made one myself and it did not turn out to be what I thought. Mess up here and there until you get it perfect. So that's amazing. These two look like axle back for a car. So cool, right?